স্ক্রিনটা
কি করছিস? আমি
হ্যাঁ
এখনো
স্ক্রিনটা
okay. Hello everyone, and as you could see that there was a confusion right off starting the show. It was much like the DCLSG run chase. See, you know why Neil has put Snehashish there as the main frame? Because that is how LSG was throughout the match till the 17th 18th over. You thought, much like now you guys are thinking that Snehashish will host this show. Exactly. All of us thought that LSG will win the match. But in comes Vipraj and changes and makes everything Viprit. Wow, what wordplay. And then Ashutosh Sharma, I think, played the innings that we have seen him play for Punjab. So nothing surprising, but good to see him doing it consistently. With me to, discuss this match, I have Snehashish, Mukherjee, Bharat Ramraj, and we will soon be joined by Naman Suri. But before we go point wise, I will just take one reaction from my guests on how was the match.
Bharat, you start.
Bharat.
It is a typical IPL match over the last 15, 16 years. You've seen 17, 18 years. Little bit of harakiri, little bit of drama, little bit of action, mistumping, unknown factor coming in and playing all those risky shots, and finally heartbreak for the opposition. So it is a typical IPL game with full of entertainment, drama, and action. That is why we love, I guess, IPL.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I think superb match. As you mentioned that, I think we all expected that okay, this game is done and dusted for LSG. They are going to win it, but suddenly Vipraj and then Ashutosh, absolutely, Tristan Stubbs did his part also, but absolutely, and I was really wanting that DC should win from this position, especially the way Ashutosh was playing, and after the win, Ashutosh I think was showing that I think about Kevin Peterson, the reverse sweep and all. So I am personally a big fan of Kevin Peterson. I love him. So I was very happy for him also, and it is good to see that DC managed to win this game out of nowhere. A perfect match for this season.
Absolutely, but let's break down this out of nowhere, win. Let's start with LSG. Absolutely, let's start with LSG. LSG batters, superb starts. Nehashish,
Mm.
Mitchell Marsh in absolute, brutal form, and so was Nicholas Puran,
Yes.
72-75. Talk about that innings. You talk about Mitchell Marsh and Bharat. I'll come to you about Nicholas Puran. Sneha Marsh.
Yes, for Mitchell Marsh, absolutely, he didn't play the recent Champions Trophy for Australia because of that injury. So it was always a concern that whether he will manage to score that much of run at that rate. If not, because he's coming after after an injury layoff. But he looked superbly, in supreme touch. I will say the way he
Sneha,
hit
one
that
second.
fast ball.
Sneha, one second. Neil, I like how every time, Neil is the one who's doing the back end. And
Yes.
Neil, I like every time the person who's not speaking is there, Yeah, Sneha, now you speak. Now is your main chance. You're in the main frame also. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I think the fast ball, the way Mitchell Marsh hit Mitchell Stark for that six. I think that was a set the innings for him. It was he was batting superbly. I think he missed 100. The way he was batting, I was thinking that he will be the second player to score 100 in this season. But overall, it was a very good innings. But for overall, I would like to mention that for overall LSG, I think LSG did just a carbon copy what KKR did that day. Had a superb start until 14th, 15th over, and then in the last 5, 6 over they failed to score big and lose almost 5, 6 wickets at a random pace, and ultimately they scored I think maybe 15, 20 runs short.
Absolutely. I think, Bharat, first, let's talk about Nicholas Puran.
Yeah, see, Nicholas Puran is someone I think in the 3 decades or 33 years of cricket that I've watched is definitely one of the most talented batters I've seen from the Caribbean, right down to I can go down to Richie Richardson, Carl Hooper, Brian Lara. His talent is skills are like that. He's blessed with a bountiful of skills, but I know he's not played a test match and on those lines. But I'm just looking at talent. He's someone who can play. See, even to a short of lane delivery or any kind of delivery, he can play shots. Maybe the only thing he can't do is play the cut stroke. So only if a bowler goes from over the wicket away from his batting zone, then he might struggle. Actually, he should have got out that way today when he tried to slash one of Vipraj, which was going away from
Mhm.
him, but it was dropped. But other than that, he's someone who is a brilliant shot maker, and it's always great to watch him bat. Like, actually, a couple of years ago, I remember a pull stroke or something on those lines where he basically played it without even watching that particular ball. It seemed like it closed his eyes, still played that pull. Like maybe against RCB it was, and it went all the way. That tells something about the man's class. So yeah, Galesh, you have a great middle order, very good middle order. Unfortunately, he's not turned out to be in a losing cause.
Absolutely. But Snehashish, as you said, when Puran got out, it was
Mm.
169 for 4 in 14.5 overs. And after that, in 20 overs, you reach 209 for 8. So, in short, if you actually see, you have scored 40 runs in the next 5 overs with 6 wickets in hand, and you were already in a position to take it way beyond 209. So lower, I
Absolutely.
mean, no other batters clicked. David Miller, yes, 27 not out of 19, but rest of the batters absolutely did not get anything.
Absolutely, and the score that you are mentioning of David Miller, it happened because of those last two sixes. Otherwise he didn't get that much of opportunity. Also, from the other end, the batters failed to give him also the opportunity to bat that much. And I think the middle order completely failed today. Because your top order, Markram didn't score. Your one opener, Mitchell Marsh clicked. Your Nicholas Puran clicked. Your Rishabh Pant, expectation was there. He didn't score. Ayush Baduni failed. So I think the middle order completely crumbled, and I think there was not any pressure because you are not chasing. The stage was set. You just the pitch was enough good to bat on. The balls were coming so nicely on the bat. So the quality you have in the middle order, what I'm talking about LSG, they should have scored more. And if any batter, if any one of them, either Ayush Baduni or maybe Rishabh Pant would have stayed there, this score might have been ended around 230 or 240, and then this game would have been in their grip, because this is a kind of pitch where you have to score more than 220, I think, because the ball is coming so nicely in the match. See, how DC managed to chase down. They failed, they lost the early wickets. Things were not going at their way until I think 10 or 11th over, but still they managed to they hold their nerve, they keep their wickets. Their batters keep, and wait for the loose deliveries, and they hit those deliveries for the sixes, and ultimately at the end they managed to cross the line. I think that was the template. The pitch was good enough to bat on. I think they scored around 20-30 runs short, and that is why they lost. Because ultimately before this game it was expected that with the available resources of bowling they have, LSG have right now, it will be difficult for them as a bowling unit, because all their prime fast bowlers are injured. Like Mohsen Khan is not there, Akashdeep is not there, obviously. So all your top bowlers are not there. So it was expected that your bowlers will struggle, and to have that cushion, that extra cushion, you should have scored those extra 20-30 runs, which you didn't score.
I'll just add a point to it. See, I think some credit has to go to Stark as well. The experience of
Yes.
Stark. Today there was
I
a
was coming to
modest.
bowling, Bharat. With me being there, you can never expect that the bowlers will not get their due credit. My problem is, Bharat, every time a batter scores, he's a brilliant batter. And the batter gets out, oh, what a bad shot. The bowler did nothing. The bowler did nothing, apparently. But yes, Bharat, I wanted to start with Mitchell Stark and with you, because you have to talk about the wickets he got, the bowling, and that Yorker, please.
Yeah, I think there is a hint of or a modicum of contrast swing today. It in the world of IPL, it feels like an oasis in desert, where it's all about batting, 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 and
Yes.
finally you have an oasis in front of you. That it's just a hint, modicum of contrast swing for Mitchell Stark. So he was going round the wicket. Yeah, from over the wicket, also he cleaned up Nicholas Puran and used the short ball. So some credit has to go to his experience. Whenever there's a hint of swing, Mitchell Stark is a different kind of bowler. If you look at with the new ball, he didn't even look to swing today. He was only bowling this bubble seam, 3-4 seam. That was clear that these days the white ball doesn't swing at all up front. He also has understood that it will not swing up front, but at least with the world ball, there is just a hint of world ball swing, or as it is scientifically known as contrast swing. And I think it took advantage of it. These usual angles of going around the wicket, then shifting back to over the wicket and using the short ball well.
Absolutely. And from one bowler, we have to go to another bowler because I think, yes, a lot of credit is being given to LSG batters and discredit is being given to LSG lower order. But three bowlers, one, of course, Bharat mentioned Mitchell Stark. The other two bowlers, first, let's discuss the Delhi
Kuldeep.
captain, Akshar Patel. 2 overs in the power play for 12 runs when Mitchell Marsh was going
Hmm.
that well, and then he came back for the 16th over and gave away another 6 runs. So 3 overs, 18 runs in a 209 score. What good bowling from Akshar Patel.
Absolutely. I think the way he led from the front, I think as a leader, you need that type of character. That, okay, if things are not going well for your bowlers, it can happen on any day with any team. So then as a skipper, if you had that capability as a bowler, then go take the ball and lead from the front. I think Akshay did that when he bowled those overs in the power play, and he was superb. And we all know that Akshay Patel has that quality, to contain that runs and that create that pressure, and considering that pressure, it can bring those wickets for your team. So I think it was not a new thing, but I think as a skipper, he had a little bit of, I will say, hard day, because it was a new experience for him. And the way the pitch was behaving, it was going to be very hard for any skipper. See Rishabh Pant also, I think at the end he also left, I think, without any clue. So I think overall, I think it will be a good day. At least DC started on a winning note, but I think as a leader, I think Akshay Patel would love to be more proactive from the coming games.
Absolutely. Welcome, Naman Suri. And the first question that I will throw at you is how good was Kuldeep Yadav? Kuldeep Yadav is turning out to be a class act, and from someone whose career was actually derailed in an IPL to a commanding bowling. When both the teams have scored over 200 runs, for even for Aksar to have bowling figures of 18 in 3 overs, and for Kuldeep to get those wickets, it was brilliant. Naman, Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah, definitely. He was a star out performer for DC in their bowling contingent. An economy rate of around 5 or 6, I believe. I mean, that's super when a team has just scored 200 plus runs against your bowling lineup. And I mean, it was going to happen. They were going to use Kuldeep Yadav against that middle order of left-handed Nicholas Puran and Rishabh Pant, and then also David Miller coming up in the later down the order. But Kuldeep has just taken off his form where he left. I mean, he's taking it from where he left in the Champions Trophy. Got a big boost in the final, and now he's just brought this up in the IPL as well. So, I mean, it was an outstanding performance from Kuldeep. He just delivered what was expected from him, trying to squeeze out that over where he got Rishabh Pant out, four dot balls, 4 or 3 dot balls, and then getting him out on trying to score some runs. So that, I mean, it was intelligent bowling by him, and you have to give him the due here.
Absolutely. But Bharat, I have to come to you on Kuldeep because I know you will be saying something technical and I want to hear that technical. Bharat, where do you think in the death over also Kuldeep was so good? He contend, he got wickets. Where do you think did he do so well?
I think one of the differences with Kuldeep Yadav generally is I think he has that variation now. He bowls quicker through the air when needed. He has that faster one, so he mixes up his pace really well. In the past, batters used to take advantage of it. He was more into flight. Obviously, he had a great googly and all, but nowadays he mixes up his pace a lot better. He has that faster one. He has that flipper, so he can bowl that delivery. And he's someone I think he's a lot more confident now. Obviously, he's played a lot of games. So in the past, what used to happen was if a batter goes after him, then he would start bowling shorter, and even more shorter. So that he used to do. But nowadays, if a batter goes after him, I don't think he is someone who loses the plot so easily. I think that's the big difference. But I think the biggest difference is the faster one. So he now has that delivery where he can bowl quicker through the air, and the batter won't be able to line him up like he used to do.
Now let's go to the DC innings. Initial top half, there's nothing much to talk about in the DC innings. Bharat, don't see your phone. It's not like we're going to end the show early if you show that you're late for your sleep. We're not ending the show early. But anyway, getting back to the questions. Naman, straight up, till Tristan Stubbs and
Some WhatsApp message had come, so that is why I just saw. That's all.
okay, then cool. So Tristan Stubbs and Ashutosh Sharma's partnership somewhere, Naman, laid this foundation, where at least there was that belief. And the other thing which I really liked was the way Tristan Stubbs was actually going and talking to Ashutosh when he was not really uh, he wasn't really going well. He was scoring, run a ball, and the equation was stiffer. So Tristan Stubbs and Ashutosh partnership, Naman.
Yeah, definitely. That was something that steadied the ship for DC. They lost some quick wickets in the power play itself. Uh, first of all, talking about if I talk about their top order, Fraser McGurk hasn't been in the best of the form even in the BBL, except a 95 in one innings. His total runs I think were around 195 or something odd. Not a very great performance, and that is a lean patch that is brought over to IPL as well, and became a problem for DC until Aksar came in and put in some score. He also got out in a hurry, trying to match trying to uh, keep that required run rate in check. And then, yes, like you said, Tristan Sub steadied the ship. He came in with Ashutosh Rana, trying to. I mean, they were both not on the same page in the initial few overs. Uh, there was also a miscommunication that almost led to Tristan Stubbs getting run out. But yeah, they both calmed their nerves down. They talked it out in the middle of the pitch, then started to go after the bowlers slowly and steadily. Because to be honest, LSG doesn't have that world-beating bowling lineup. They already are very wafer thin on pace attack. Shamal Joseph was also out today for some reason. I'm not clear yet about that, but it was clear LSG was going to struggle somewhere. In the initial overs, they did put DC on the back foot, and that seemed like that might have put the final nail in the coffin on DC, given their half side was in the pavilion by the seventh over. So from there, Ashutosh, I'm forgetting the name of that player, Vipraj, sorry,
Vipraj.
Vipraj,
With that.
yeah, Vipraj, a bit
Naman
confusing
has
name, but
written
yeah,
the
Vipraj.
report. Now I am scared about our match report.
No, that name is a bit confusing. So no, Vipraj and Tristan Sub did their bit and brought DC back into the game, and it was. I mean, I was continuously going over my report trying to realign the storyline because it was going back and forth. LSG getting some wickets, and even in the last over, if Rishabh Pant had gotten that stumping,
Stumping.
LSG might have won that match. And I mean, yeah, DC Ashutosh Rana did what he has been doing throughout this game.
Ashutosh Sharma, not
Sorry,
Rana.
sorry,
Ashutosh Rana
sorry.
acts.
I have
It
been
happened. It
continuously
happened.
this. This has been going
Uh,
in my mind since a long time. I'm continuously confusing him with
No
Ashutosh
worries, no
Rana.
worries.
Sorry.
I was actually chatting with a friend who also smartly told me the same thing, that, oh my God, Ashutosh Rana after Punjab is doing so well for DC. And I said, I hope he does well, but I don't think this is the same Ashutosh we are talking about. But anyway, Bharat,
Ashutosh Sharma. Sorry.
before we talk about Ashutosh Sharma, I specifically want to talk about Vipraj because, to be very honest, I don't think Ashutosh Sharma on his own would have been able to convert the whole thing had the charge not started with Vipraj. And what I like best about Vipraj Bharat is the shots over cover says that you are technically sound. You're not going and hitting across the line to get your runs. You are hitting it over covers, over the gully fielder, Bharat, on Vipraj Nigam.
Yeah, the thing with Vipraj alongside his technique, I guess, is his wrists. The magic is in his wrists because he could get into an awkward position, but it feels like his wrists will take over. I think that is what helped him to play those shots through covers, even one behind square on the offside. I guess he played. So I think the magic is in his wrists, willowy wrists, and that is where I think he really does well. But he showed great temperament. The interesting part about Vipraj is I was actually doing some research to write a copy a couple of weeks ago on the five uncapped players to watch out for or something on those lines. And one of the names I took up was Vipraj. I was talking about his spin bowling. I also talked about his batting. I researched some 14 or 15 matches. In none of it he had performed with the bat. The one match I didn't research, he scored 27 of 9 or 10 balls. That is something that I understood it today. I was doing research for 40, 15 matches. The one match I didn't see, he scored those 27 or 10 balls, but it's great to see another youngster coming good. But on a side note, I just wanted to add a point to what Naman was saying. This is in relation to sometimes as a reporter, you can mess up. See, one of my former colleagues, I don't want to take his name in my former company. So, in the 2015 World Cup, a quarter-final game, Bangladesh defeated England when Rubel Hussain dismissed my favorite cricketer. Yeah, so that is how it happened. But in my former company, there are what can I say, short codes. Batsman, C bat, bowler, C ball. Obviously, that he wrote it right. C ball castled C bat. But after that, he went and wrote C bat is now down on the floor. He's celebrating with the rest of his teammates. That is James Henderson is down on the floor celebrating with the rest of his teammates. I don't know where my CEO was. I don't know. I hardly see him once in a year or something on those lines. My former CEO, good man. But from nowhere he came and they started blasting all of us. Obviously, I was not in text commentary, thankfully. At that particular moment, I was just sitting beside him. That is one of the funny moments I remember when it comes to messing up things, and it happens to everyone. But
Yeah, yeah, it
uh,
of course happens, and
I
this
just
gives us a funny story. Yeah, Naman.
if I just add on the Vipraj thing, if you guys watched it, Kevin Peterson came in the middle of the innings on the broadcast, and he said that why
I was
when
about to
DC
go to this.
was yeah DC was
Yeah.
halfway in the pavilion, and he said that we still have a few hitters, and he named Vipraj. He is a quite a bit of hitter,
Yes,
and when he
yes,
comes, we are banking on him. So that is something their
yes.
mentor was completely believing in him, and he did perform.
Absolutely. I think that's what I was about to say. That Kevin Peterson did not only speak highly about Vipraj. Peterson was on fire, Snehashish. In the dugout, he was literally jumping up and down. But let's talk about Ashutosh. Kind of the man of the moment. See, it's one thing, and we have seen this in IPL. A number of uncapped players have come. They have scored in one season,
Mm.
one game, and they are gone. But Ashutosh Sharma has done this for Punjab, and now he's doing this for Delhi. When I say doing this, just one match, but this
Yes.
wasn't an easy match to win by any means, by any standards. 31 balls, 66, 212 strike rate, 5 fours, 5 sixes, not easy. And when you see
Absolutely.
5 fours and 5 sixes, that also tells you that how big he has hit, but what it does not tell you is how straight he has hit. He has kept
Mhm.
hitting straight. Snehashish.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think the first point that you mentioned, that doing that once in one season, it's a different thing. It happens with many players. It has happened with many players. Many players over the years in IPL, we have seen that they have won, one or two games for their respective franchises. But doing that in two seasons, and that too in a new franchisee, in a new and in the first season and the first match of that season, in that kind of a pressure situation, I think it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot about your character, about your talent, and about your composure under pressure, that you can handle that pressure, and you are set for the big stage. I think the way he batted, and if you see, I think what Naman mentioned, that when Tristan Stubbs were batting, he was hitting, but Ashutosh was struggling a bit. He was not, he was not managing to hit the ball correctly. The timing was not there. So, but still, he didn't lose that hope. He still, believed in his process. He was looking to hit straight down the ground most of the balls, whether in the air or on the ground. It was always in the V, and that is one of the main positive thing about Ashutosh Sharma. I think he kept belief on him, and the belief, ultimately paid for him. In the last few overs, he managed to hit those sixes whenever needed, and then superb. I think the way he managed to keep DC in the game until the last over, I think that was the main template. It was always the plan, to keep DC, to take the game to that last over, that last ball, and have that chance. Okay, at least on the last two balls, I have the chance to hit at least two boundaries or two sixes to win the game. So I think the template worked brilliantly, and we have all seen, Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni doing all these kind of things over the years, when they are chasing. So I think this was that kind of a chase where he managed to, to hit those calculations properly, and managed to hit the, and hit those shots at perfect stages. So I think overall a great innings, but as you mentioned, that one match we all agree, but this guy has some talent, and if he managed to do this, I think twice or thrice more in this season, I think India call can come up quickly for him.
Where? In place of whom? India
that
T20
that is
set mein
that is
challa
a
gaya
diff,
hai bhai.
that is a different show. I think now it is high time for India to think about two T20
Two
teams.
teams.
Same
Yeah,
times you can play two series, one in Sri Lanka, one in England.
absolutely. But also award Bharat on Rishabh Pant's captaincy, because Rishabh wasn't great. That's true. Under pressure, Rishabh looked absolutely confused. Also, one thing is when he talks behind the stump. The other problem is today when he was under pressure, he was screaming. He was showing a lot of emotions. Bharat, Rishabh Pant's captaincy.
Yeah, first of all, tactics as well. You could have told someone like young Prince Yadav is talented bowler. You could have gone and told him that you're trying to bowl faster, and you are fastest. Try to slow down the pace. Try to use a variation. Try to bowl a slower one into the wicket, slower one. But he didn't tell anything of that sort. The poor youngster kept bowling too full, looking for the Yorker and got hit. That is the tactical part, because it was clear that someone like Prince Yadav should have bowled into the wicket. Slower delivery is there. And yes, even when it comes to the mental side of things, especially in a high pressure game, pressure cooker situation, you don't want your captain to scream and shout too much in a T20 game, because then what usually happens is there's a like good chance that the next ball itself, if fielder may do a misfield, or it might end up as a drop chance or something on this line. So you want your captain to stay very calm. So I say maybe he is captain before as well. So you can't say it's learning experience for him. By now, Rishabh Pant should have been a good captain, or someone who should have shown some maturity. But that wasn't definitely wasn't the case today, even in terms of his tactics, or in terms of how he guided those young bowlers. He definitely didn't guide those young bowlers. In the end, I was seeing David Miller, maybe a little bit of Aidan Markram also. Especially David Miller was trying to maybe guide the youngsters, but Rishabh Pant was not doing that. That is something that really surprised me. Yeah, I think he needs to get better at it.
Absolutely. Now let's take a few comments. First of all, when we'll be taking comments, let me just make it clear. Neil, I'll tell you which comments to take. Calm down. Neil is in another level of excitement. He does not support Delhi or LSG, but somehow is super excited. But the point is, if there are any abusive comments, then of course we won't take. So there's no point in writing abusive comments. Right? Good comments we will take. Okay, Anit Sadhu says battle of two weak teams is always interesting rather than boring SRH games. Naman, are Delhi and LSG weak teams?
I
This is
didn't
the
hear
comment.
your
Naman.
question. Can you?
The comment is there.
Okay. Battle of two weak teams is always interesting rather than boring SRH. It's not like that. I mean, yeah, you saw a game of bat versus bat. It's not like that. Today also there were 400 runs scored. So it's not that these games cannot provide you the high octane level that you require from IPL or T20 games. But it's one off game doesn't mean that every game is going to be like that. Today, Vizag has been a batting paradise, but you saw how many wickets fell, how many sixes were scored. So it was a much better contest, better pitch, if I may say. But yeah, it's not like always like that. In last season, someone I think said it. SRH only scored 200. So that doesn't mean that every game is going to go 200 plus.
Absolutely.
But
Bharat, next question.
I'll just point to it. I don't think LSG are a weak team because they still have a very good batting lineup. Yes, they're
I
missing.
don't think DC also is a weak team. I don't
Yeah,
think any of the teams are weak.
DC obviously no one would consider them as a weak team, but
Yeah,
maybe some would consider LSS a weak team because they don't have the bowlers. But even if you look at their lineup, they have an explosive batting lineup. Seen the world of IPL, as I noted even before the RCB versus KKR game. It's all about who plays better on that day. Yes, one team might be
absolutely.
slightly better than the other team, but in T20 cricket, especially in the world of IPL, the difference between A and B or B and C and or C and D is not much. So who plays better on the day will come out on top.
Absolutely. Let's take the next comment. Ravi Bishnoi overhyped. Not a player worth to be retained. Just a googly bowler. No evolution in his game for the last 5 years. Just a one-trick penny. Most experienced bowler let them down. Bharat, this question has Bharat written all over it. Bharat, please.
It's perhaps a little too harsh on him, but yeah, I can understand where he's coming from because see, Bishnoi, what is his main strength? He bowls the googly. He doesn't really have the leg spinner. He bowls a little bit of what can you say, skidders. The skidders that kind of go straight on. When there is grip, I understand it might occasionally turn, but he mostly bowls the googly. And he doesn't have the bounce factor of someone like Varun Chakravarti. When someone is trying to hit Varun Chakravarti, yes, he bowled a bad over to Pill Salt, but after that, the bounce factor helped him. He stands much more taller at the crease. He's taller than Bishnoi. He imparts a little more overspin. So he has something extra compared to Bishnoi, other than the other variations that Chakravarti has, including the unconventional leg. He started bowling that seam up, back of the hand, seam up kind of leg spinner, whatever, straighter one, top spinner. So he has other variations, but he has the bounce factors. But unfortunately for Bishnoi, it doesn't have the bounce factor. Everything skids through. So it doesn't turn the ball away from the right hander much. So it basically depends on googly and his control. So most batters have understood it. Even if you look at the T20 series against England, Livingstone, I guess, the only match that England won was because of Livingstone, because he understood that Bishno is only bowling this googly. So he was only looking for the googly and smashed him mostly through mid wicket and wide off long one. So I can understand where he's coming from, but maybe the way he said is a little bit harsh.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, fans use rather harsh language, understandable that way. But yeah, kind of agree with the fact that Bishnoi has become predictable, and that's a problem. Priyanshu says, hello, sorry, Anit Sadhu says LSG has scored less in this match. They should have scored more after Nikki P out. They lost the momentum. Absolutely, Anit. Priyanshu says, "Hello, Snehashish and Trishadi duo is back." Yes, we are back. You will see us a number of times, Priyanshu, in Rev English, Rev Bengali, Rev Hindi. Uh, just keep following the three channels. Anit Sadhu, thanks to Miller's two sixes at the end, otherwise they would have ended with less than 200. Lost the momentum in last 5 overs. Yes, we have discussed this. Priyanshu Pant today failed in batting, captaincy, and wicket keeping. Snehashish, too much under pressure with the amount of money you paid for him in the auction, the occasion, and also the fact that, see, the captaincy probably not having, a- I don't know, not having too many, but he had leadership in Mitchell Marsh and Nicholas Puran. So what do you think? Where do you think he looked a little confused? What was that?
I, as I mentioned, I think at the later stage of the DC innings, I think he got a little bit confused because all the things were looking good until that 11th or 12th over. I will think because I think everyone, even we were thinking that okay, LSG will win this game, so I think it will be a winning start for at least the keeper Rishabh Pant because as a batter he completely failed today. And I think again that question will come up that whether Rishabh Pant should bat at number 4 or number 5 in a T20 game or not because I think he could be used as an opener or maybe at number 3
I was
and
just
that
about to
could
say that.
be
Yeah.
yes, I think that could be more useful for him to score more runs because the way he scored runs especially in white ball formats I think it is very difficult if he comes at number 4 number because in most of the games you expect Mitchell Marsh or Nicholas Puran to score, and then it is expected that in most of the games you will come to bat around in that 12 or 13 overs. So in that stage you have to come and you have to hit the ball from the maximum after 3-4 deliveries to score to keep that run rate going at that rate. So I think it is quite difficult, but I think we have to see that whether he will continue or not. That so the batting was flop today. Wicket keeping, I think that the stamping miss. I think it was the game in his hand. It was his game. He lost the game, I will say, because and after the very next ball, when the fielder misses that run out chance, as Bharat mentioned, that it was so sad to see that he was screaming at the fielder that why he didn't pick up the ball clearly and managed to throw. I think he do that because in the previous ball you had the game in your hand and as a skipper you missed the game. So I think it was unnecessarily, it was not needed at that point. And captaincy, I think, see, I think we all will agree that uh, as a captain material he needs to work more. He's not a finished article right now. He needs to work more, especially in the crunch situation as in WPL. Regarding all captains, you Trishadi always mention that it's easy to captain when things are going good, right? But when things are becoming tricky, where is the plan B, plan C, plan D for you? I think that is where Rishabh Pant lacked today. He didn't understood and why Shardul Thakur didn't bowl in the last few overs. He is an experienced guy. He can bowl. So
I
I
will
think a lot
come
of
to that.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions are there. I think hopefully from the next game he will look much more composed, calm and
Reflects
composed
about
under
that.
pressure. Yes,
Yeah.
but a lot of things need to be corrected when it comes to captaincy of Rishabh Pant.
Absolutely. Suman has said something that I think Snehashi just said, and I'll come to you, Naman, with it. Why team can't see Pant has to open in T20 or else it's wasting of a spot, cause not letting him play and utilize his best.
Uh, I mean, stats back that Pant needs to come top of the order, either one down or open the innings. But I think because they didn't have anyone as an overseas bowler, they went with Aiden Markram or even Mitchell Marsh, whoever they were going to initially. If someone like Shamar Joseph was in the lineup, so I think that made the selection. There is going to be selection worries for LSG given how thin they are on the bowling front. They will have to go heavy on the batting front, and that might change certain players' actual batting spots. And this is what I think Pant also suffered. He had to come out at bat, I think number 4. So uh, it's something that they will try to strategize around. Uh, we saw Nicholas Puran is smashing at number three. I think he can come down at four also, and he'll still smash the ball as he did in this match. So I think he can switch his place with Puran, but I think it's according to the match, according to the conditions available. That is how the captain, I think, made this decision, and it didn't pan out today. Probably might pan out in the next game.
Priyanshu, sorry, not Priyanshu, Bharat. Priyanshu asks, why not Shardul bowled in last 2 overs? He's international level. I don't think it is about Shardul bowling the last 2 overs alone. I think Shardul has bowled just 2 overs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he's only bowled two
Yes,
overs, 19 runs, two
yes,
wickets.
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
ideally, as an experienced bowler, should have definitely bowled at least one of those 2 overs in the slog, because he's the one who had the experience. Yes, I understand Prince Yadav is quite talented, but he should have definitely bowled in the slog. That is no brainer in that. But again, I add the point that I felt bad for Prince Yadav because no one guided him as to how to bowl in the slog, because it was clear that he was trying to bowl the Yorker again and again. Maybe even Shardul Thakur could have guided him that don't try to bowl the Yorker every single time. Try to pull your length back. Try to bowl into the wickets lower ones. That not a single person, not a single player told this youngster is something that I still feel bad. But yes, when it comes to who should have bowled the slog, then it should have been Shardul Thakur.
Suman Avasti says, I think LSG bowlers bowled bit better than DC, even if we lost the game. Towards the end, not at all. I think DC's Aksar Patel and Kuldeep and Stark's last few overs were big difference. Freaking Awesome says, Vipraj's contribution was so crucial. It's time and time again. Ashutosh delivers under pressure. Hope he will get a chance in the national side in T20I format as a finisher in Bangladesh tour. If there is place in that side, sure. DC win, yes, Anna Saheb Patil. Uh, Freaking Awesome has again said, although uh, Aksar has made some captaincy errors by not bowling his full quota of overs, gave an over to Stubbs. Otherwise, things would have been a bit easier for DC. DC को easy करना ही नहीं है, उनको लास्ट में ले जाके जीतना है, एंड तक मजा देना है सबको. ये सब मत
I'll
बोलो.
just get a point. If it is fine
Yeah.
about a bowler bowling captain not bowling his quota of overs. There's a theory. It may not be right, but there's an old theory that a bowling captain either overballs himself or underutilizes himself. Maybe overballs himself. The example could be the great Bishan Bedi when he was the captain, especially during a tour of Pakistan when he was getting smashed in 78 or on those lines. Maybe his last tour as captain or something on those lines. But he overbowled himself. That's what people tell. Underutilizes could be someone like Ben Stokes. Many times he's underutilized himself in recent past, but there is a theory. So maybe Akshar Patel also comes in that a particular category that maybe underbowls himself a little bit.
Could
I
well be
think
possible, but that is where, and this is completely out of context, but that is where I rate Pat Cummins extremely highly as a captain. Not only because of what he has won, but also as a captain, how he has utilized himself. The overs that he bowls, he knows that this is my role, and that does not change just because I'm a captain. So he's able to differentiate between those roles. Anyway, Suman Avasti has something very important and very interesting, and this is a pattern that he has noticed. Thank you, Suman, for bringing this pattern to our notice. Suman says Naman works better from the bar. Naman made no mistakes when he was doing work from the bar, but jumble from home. Naman, what is
yeah.
this? What is this
I think
situation?
I think I need some drinks in me to not fumble words here. I think he got it right on.
So Suman, you have found out the correct pattern. We will be talking to our boss and keep sending Naman
Yeah,
outside every time there is a show.
I mean, if someone is willing to sponsor my drinks, I'm going to go out every day.
Suman, there you go. There's your question. Are you ready to sponsor those drinks? Prince of World says, we of course know that Prince of World is a DC fan. Sneashish and I know that. And he says, let's hope DC to lift trophy at least in IPL. Prince, it's just the first game. Calm down.
By the
Although
way,
Aksar has, yeah.
one of us, I think Shubhan, said that DC might be going for a wooden spoon. So it's just one game. Let's see.
Yeah, let's all stay calm, you know. Freaking awesome says, although Bharat, this is for you, although Aksar has been struggling with the bat in Vizag, 33 runs in 7 IPL games, he started well as a skipper though. Rate out of 5 and no diplomacy, Bharat, Rishabh and Aksar. And I know it's just one match, I'm saying on this match, that's it.
Yeah, it's one match, little difficult to say, but Rishabh Pant out of five, I will give him two. That's the most I can give, considering the fact that even in terms of how he handled these players, in terms of screaming or shouting, in terms of tactical acumen, it didn't guide his young bowlers at all. So that's I have to be a little harsh on him. Maybe Akshar Patil, I will give him, maybe I will just push him, spike it a little bit to 3.5 instead of 3. I'll still take out 1.5 marks because he himself should have bowled a quota of overs. That is something that he didn't do. Maybe on occasions, until about maybe the score was around 100, around that mark, it felt like the DC camp were a little jittery. Maybe again, you can't blame Akshar Patil completely for it
Alone,
in
yeah,
terms
yeah.
body language, in terms of their body language, but they made a good comeback thanks to their bowlers. So I will give him 3.5.
Prince of World, DC is. You want to say something,
If
Naman,
I,
or I?
yeah, if I just may add on the Akshar Patel not bowling his full quota of overs, it probably might be. It's just I'm just thinking out it. I mean thinking out loud that he might be protecting himself from the flurry of hits of Puran and David Miller, who both are left-handers, and it would be easier to hit him across the ground. So that is, I think, might be the reasoning. He might have not bowled his overs fully.
There should a point to
Oh,
it, but you can counter it by saying, yes, Akshar Patel kind of bowler can even end up bowling the slog because if someone who can fire it in, bowl stump to stump line, it's not someone who turns the ball, right? Yeah, a little bit of scrambled seam, undercuts it, turns a little bit, but it's mostly someone who bowls with the round arm action, stump to stump line. So at any point of time in the match, considering the DC didn't have a great attack. Yeah, it's a decent enough attack, but considering that they didn't have a great attack, you could have bowled at any point of time in that particular innings.
absolutely. A nail
Even
biting
if it comes
finish
to
in
the
the
fact that left-handers were in the fray. Yeah, that's all I
a
wanted
nail
to add.
biting finish in the match, a nail biting contest going on here between Naman and Bharat as well. Don't miss it. Keep joining us. Prince of World says DCB is very famous in nail biting finish, both IPL and WPL. भाई WPL का दर्द ना याद दिलाओ आगे बढ़ो जिंदगी में freaking awesome. Natarajan should play for DC. Why? What happened? They gave 200 runs. You are thinking in this IPL, 200 runs won't be scored. I mean, come on, yeah, guys. Rupali Bhatia, what a match. At 65 for 5, it felt as if the DC boys were going the same way as DC women and choking. Great match. Just by the way, guys, I have to say this. When they were 65 for 5 in our work group, I had actually texted that let's get the link ready because the match will finish early and we can finish the show early. फिर तो कुछ और ही शो हो गया. फ्रीकिंग ऑसम सिर्फ आपके लिए हम ये डीसी को भेजेंगे चिट्ठी कि नटराजन को खिलाना चाहिए नेक्स्ट मैच. Bharat, Natarajan should play next time, or you? I mean, you have Mitchell Stark. Why would you want two left-handed bowlers, Bharat?
Don't if the left-handed bowlers are good, I don't mind. Maybe they can look at taking down Mukesh Kumar, but they have a lot of they have a lot of faith in uh, uh, someone like him. So that is, I think, the one bowler they can look at with Natarajan coming in because Natarajan is a good bowler in the slog overs. But again, they trust Mukesh Kumar for his expertise in the slog overs, for his ability to get a little bit of contrast swing. Although, despite saying that today he only bowled 2 overs, so maybe if they really want and the left arm option, then it is, I think, for him.
Suman Avasti says, ha ha ha, bad luck. I don't sponsor anyone drinks. Sorry, but thumbs up I can. हाँ तो हम तो thumbs up की बात कर रहे थे. आपने क्या सोचा सुमन? सुमन, that's
I'm a
wrong.
teetotaler.
हाँ हम thumbs up पीते हैं भाई, हम thumbs up पीते हैं. कोई मतलब इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. But Suman Avasti says not related to the game, but Bharat sir, do you also see some glimpse of Sachin sir in Ruturaj playing against spin, especially offside game? भाई ऐसा मत करो भाई. मैं मानती हूँ कि वो बहुत अच्छा प्लेयर है, पर ये तो मतलब बहुत बड़ा दोष हो जाएगा. But Bharat, anyway, Ruturaj versus spin, not directly related to this match, of course, but
It's not
straight to what?
Rituraj, Vipraj,
Ruturaj.
Vipraj,
No, Rituraj only.
Vipraj.
No, he
Ruturaj,
said it's not related to this game, so he means Rituraj.
Okay. Got it.
He works better from home. He's not Naman.
Yes, he's a good player. Ritraj is a good player, fluent player. It depends on economy of movement. Economy of movement in the sense that it doesn't move much, but it just moves just enough back or forward. And obviously, his timing takes over, keeps his head very still. So yeah, he's a fine player of spin, but I don't want to compare him to great players, legends of the game like that, because someone like Tendulkar, even if you consider him against pace or spin, I've seen him play with trigger. I've seen him play without trigger in a single inning. So it's difficult to compare a player who basically depends on economy of movement or not much trigger with a player who has played with trigger and no trigger in a single innings itself. So they don't want to go there, but if someone is good-looking player, good timer of the ball, and depends on economy of movement and picks the length reasonably well.
Neil, especially take the comment of Apurv Raj. I love such comments, you know. मुझे सबसे अच्छा क्या लगता है इन कमेंट्स की कि भाई 4 लोग तो तुम खुद होगे जो देख रहे होगे. I'm okay with हम चारों अगर खुद ही अपना YouTube साइट में खोल के खुद ही देख रहे, खुद ही एक दूसरे से बात कर रहे, क्योंकि हमें तो बहुत मजा आ रहा है.
I think we are 5. Apurv is also watching.
हाँ, अपूर्व को भी
In
देख
the
रहा है ना.
चलो सुमन, थम्स अप मेंशन किया, जस्ट मेंशन किया और भाई बैक फॉर्म में आ गया, तो बस तुम अब स्पॉन्सर कर ही दो. अच्छा, सिद्धार्थ हियर आस्क व्हाट हैपेंड टू सम अदब से हराएंगे पार्टी. दे कैन स्नैच आवर होम ग्रोन बॉय फ्रॉम अस बट नॉट आवर स्पिरिट्स. इट्स कमिंग टू द कैपिटल. ये क्या हो गया भाई? ये मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. व्हाट इज द रेफरेंस हियर?
अदब से हराएंगे, वो लखनऊ का टैगलाइन है, अदब से हराएंगे.
अच्छा, तो
हाँ,
किसने किसके ग्रोन बॉय को ले लिया? अच्छा,
तो अभी
Rishabh
ऋषभ,
Pant.
हाँ, या
ओके. It's coming to the capital. What is coming to the capital? लखनऊ आ रहा है कैपिटल में?
आई थिंक
Trophy,
केएल
I
राहुल को
believe.
लेके गया ना, केएल राहुल को लेके गया ना असली. आई थिंक उस एंगल केएल राहुल को
नहीं,
लेके गया.
राहुल तो डीसी
I
में है
think.
ना.
नहीं,
तो
I
डीसी
think
पे आ रहा है,
he's
बोल रहा है
telling
ना
us
ट्रॉफी.
trophy
नहीं
will
बाबा,
come to capital.
he is saying ऋषभ पंत को ले लिया बट ट्रॉफी हमारे
ओके
पास आ रहा है.
ओके.
यार तुमको भी बाहर भेजना है क्या? क्या चल रहा है? थप्पड़ की तो कुछ. Suman Avasti saying not comparing. I see glimpse like when he play inside out or late cut. I didn't see it in any of the batters. That's all. I don't compare anyone. Yeah, Suman. It's not like we got.
Yeah,
We are
Yes.
just saying that. Yes, Bharat.
yeah, I'll just add a point to it. So, see, that is where it comes down to picks the length really well. So, that is why he's able to play the late cut. Funda is simple. Anyone who's played the game, obviously, you would know this. If a batter picks the length early, then he would be able to adjust, he or she would be able to adjust, get a little more extra time on his hands or on her hands, and able to play the ball late. So, that is what he basically does. Someone who can cut the ball on top of off stump, and that tells you that is a good player of spin.
Absolutely. Well, we are done here. Oh, okay. Priyanshu Bharat has Bharat, you have to say, why is everyone calling you Travis Hill? Bharat,
Ah,
for you, this is for you.
finally, Bharat has no
To
point,
point,
I think.
has to appoint everything. Basically, he's saying for everything he has a point of.
Yeah, good one.
I don't know. I don't think I'm Travis Head in terms of my nature, but yeah, maybe a little bit of mustache.
No, in
I
case of
Ah,
points, in case of making points, you're like Travis Head, hitting boundaries and sixes with all your points. From just a second.
hmm.
Okay, we'll not take the last comment because it's a little weird. Himadri Chakrabarti, did Pant's six-ball duck cost the game in your opinion? I mean, there are so many LSG batters that scored duck. Akela Pant kya karega? I think okay. So if you had to, and this is I'll take the last comment from all three of you. If you had to say that, what are your actual worrying signs would be too much after one game. But if you had to pinpoint something, are you more worried about the LSG middle lower middle order which did not work, or is the LSG bowling lineup looking quite poor, to you guys, starting with Bharat? Neil,
I guess I
switch
would.
the comment off, it's done. Sorry.
I think I would be more worried about their bowling because of too many injuries. They just lack that experience, which we saw it today with Prince Yadav and other guys that they didn't have the experience in the slog overs, and the one experienced bowler didn't go and bowl in the slog. So I would be, I think, more worried about the bowling because in under pressure cooker situations, you need bowlers with experience, with the wisdom of experience to go and execute the plans.
Yes.
Naman?
Yeah, I mean, same. I think the bowling lineup is a bit of a worry for them. It will mount a serious pressure on their batting lineup to score 200 plus runs in every match because they'll have to defend it somehow. And with that bowling lineup, in the inexperience they have, I think the most experienced bowler is Shardul Thakur or Ravi Bishnoi. So it is a bit concerning for them. I cannot, I mean, completely blame Rishabh Pant on this. He didn't have someone to rely on, someone like, I mean, Jasprit Bumrah or someone like a bowler that can lead the pack and deliver at times. So that is something I think they are missing out on. They did find a good spinner in Digvesh. He did bowl quite a few good overs and M. Siddharth as well. So I think bowling is a bit of a huge worry for them going ahead in the tournament.
Absolutely. Snehashish.
I think it was, as I mentioned, I think it was known from before this game only that the bowling will be a worrying sign for them because your top bowlers are not there, all injury. So I think considering that, I think the middle order batters will be, I will be most concerned about that thing because today the stage was set. It was not like that your top order batters failed and you were like 30 for 3, and that is why your middle order batters got that pressure and they crumbled under the pressure and they didn't score. The stage was set for a 220, 230 score, but your top quality middle order batters didn't click because you see the names, right? Okay, not in the middle order, but you expect Aidan Markram to score, you expect Rishabh Pant to score, you expect Ayush Baduni to score, and maybe so I think considering these names, and they have already shown their capabilities when it comes to hard hitting, especially in this kind of pitches you expect them to score big. So I think because injury is a part and parcel of the game, and that these are the available bowlers I have. So I think that is where you cannot do anything. But with the available batting options that you have in a batting heavy team, I think LSG would have expected more runs from this batting unit. I think that is the more concerning thing going to the second game, and hopefully they will click better in the second game.
Absolutely. And Lady Luck has also, see, DC also had a bit of Lady Luck. shining
Yes,
on them
yes.
because there is a
Lakshmi.
cute little member that the DC
Yes.
team has welcomed, KL Rahul and Atya Shetty. Huge congratulations on your baby girl. KL Rahul will be joining the team soon. And
Yes.
as of now, we are going to join our nighttime rituals. For me, which is reading, as you can see. Thank you so much, Bharat Ramraj, Naman Suri, Snehashish Mukherjee. Of course, the IPL has just started, guys. It has just begun. 4 5 matches done. There's so much to. Do you have a point, Bharat? You lifted your. Okay. and and we have so many more points to take from our own Travis Head and Naman. We will be sending to the bar as promised. Suman will be sponsoring his thumbs up. Snehashish, you and I can't do anything. Maybe we will be doing, we will keep our ritual intact of doing 1 hour shows, and starting shows on one day and finishing them on the other day. We started this on Monday. Now we have reached Tuesday. So it's time to end the show. Keep watching IPL. But whether you watch the match or not, it does not matter. Do join Rev Sports. Rev Sports in English, Hindi, Bengali, and keep watching. Tomorrow morning, in fact, you will have two GT players exclusive interviews coming in which channel? None other than, of course, Rev Sports. Do keep watching because one of those GT players, Bharat sir, is like ये life खत्म क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? भरत हमेशा ऐसी शक्ल बना हुआ है. One of the GT players actually has defied anything called science. So, who is that? I think most of you have guessed. And the other GT bowler is more famous among RCB crowd and now is a GT bowler. Guess कर लो और guess करके join कर लो कल सुबह. पहले इंटरव्यूज देखो फिर शो के लिए ज्वाइन करो और रेव स्पोर्ट्स पे जुड़े रहो. लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. थैंक यू एवरीवन. गुड नाइट गाइस. गुड नाइट टीम.
Thank you. Good night.